ultimately, should Cracker Barrel have rebranded or should it have stayed the same? I know we make jokes about it and everything like that, but ultimately, should they be trying to kind of get over these past racist things and go ahead and rebrand?
Why not? I mean, companies rebrand all the time. You look at a 1980s Dorito bag and you look at a Dorito bag today, it's different. Same thing with a can of Pepsi. Logos and branding change. The Toyota logo has changed over the years. What I like especially about Cracker Barrel is they did it without any of the complaining. Nobody, as far as I know, was even complaining about the logo. And like I said earlier in the show, black people were making jokes about it and stuff. So for them on their own to say, hey, we don't want this to represent us. We want to change it to this. I don't see anything wrong with it. Like,
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. This your boy Ferg, join my co-host Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, what it do?
Big X is back on his. So I don't know if y'all heard, Big X had an album release party and then immediately following got arrested for drugs and weapons possession. So I don't know when these rappers are gonna learn. You have somebody with you to carry the stuff. Like, you don't carry it yourself. I don't get how, like, it shouldn't be in the car with you. It's like, I don't know what it is, but you should have like a licensed security person that has a weapon on them so that you don't get any type of weapons charges, and the drug shouldn't be in the car with you. I don't get how they haven't figured this out yet, but they haven't, because Big X is going to jail. So he got out on bond and all of that. He'll fight it and all of that, but still, it's like, dude, come on, man, come on. So, and I like Big X. I really, really like Big X. That's the other part about it. Like, for one of the newer rappers out there, like, he is kind of up there, top 34 for the new rappers. Probably, maybe one of the top on there, especially like his crossover with the country and everything. He's a good rapper. So, well, but I hope he peace and love and prayers and all that stuff to him. On the education tip, I just want to say Florida said, we see your gerrymander in Texas and we're going to one up you because Florida has a Florida. And they passed a new bill called HB 1105. And what it does, it's an anti-DEI bill or another one, but what it does is it actually doesn't allow for disabled children to get certificates of completion after high school. And so, for some disabled kids, they're not able to complete the requirements and everything for high school graduation. And so what's happening is now Florida says you can't graduate with a certificate of completion. So, and that certificate really allows them to be able to go in and get certain jobs and everything like that. And so it just really sucks that Florida would take that opportunity from those children and just pull that, because they won't be able to get those jobs going forward.
they got allocated Alcatraz. Well, not Florida ain't do it. A judge ordered them to close it in 2 months.
Did they say close it or say they can't add to it?
They can't add to it, and I thought they had to close it in 60 days.
Okay. So, and that's why they're moving it to this new location that they want to move it to, right? Or not alligator, or what is it? Deportation Depot is what they're calling it. So that's an old prison that they're renovating. It's going to cost, I think, $6 million to renovate the old prison. So then they can move all of the deportees there. And so again, this administration is just crazy with all of this. And just talking about the administration, let's talk about Trump taking over DC. 80% of DC says no, they don't like it. He doesn't give a shit. He said, y'all, I'm bringing in the National Guard and maybe even the active army. So he said, screw the Posse Comitatus Act. I don't care. I'm still going to bring in the active army. And he has actually said that he plans to move to other cities now. He specifically called out Chicago and New York. And so he is looking to move into those cities as well as we move through, his next year and a half, 2 years, before hopefully we take back Congress and then he can kind of sit his butt down so that he doesn't get impeached again.
I think we're glossing over that. I mean, the National Guard being there is one thing, but the fact that now he's trying to arm them, I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
the
yeah, no,
scariest.
yeah.
That's
I
the
didn't even think
scariest
about
part.
that. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
arming them.
So
He's arming the National Guard, and he says he's willing to bring in the active army. Yep.
yeah. So Hegseth signed a memo today, probably around 1-2 o'clock today. This is Friday, August 22nd, so 2025 in the year of our Lord. That all this is going down. I mean, we might as well document this. This is history, man. We're living through some historical times, and so it's hard to believe. So yeah,
And I just love how MAGA and the right are twisting themselves to support this. Republicans are supposed to be the party of states' rights, except for when Trump is sitting in and deciding that federal troops need to do stuff for them. I mean, it's a lot of what he's doing is the antithesis of the Republican platform. He just signed for, or he says, I don't know if it's official or not, that the Intel is going to give us the United States 10% of the company for a bailout, which means that the United States has stakes in a private company. I mean, that is literally socialism. Semi-communism, if you really think about it, and everybody's cool with that, and the Republicans are cool with that. So I don't get how they're even supporting this, because now he's moved beyond even the Republican platform to almost go against them. So he doesn't give a about anybody, because at this point he is King Donald Trump. He really is trying to pull a Putin or any other authoritarian that came in and said, you know what, we don't have to have elections anymore. And I'm really scared. Like we said that at the beginning, kind of playing, but I'm really starting to see where we might not have elections.
I wasn't playing.
We weren't really playing.
I wasn't playing. I was talking to somebody today, and it's like, I think it might have been Bruce, and it was, we don't know the long game. And I sat with that for a second. I'm like, I think we do. We're just in denial. We know how this is going to end. We just like, no way. Nah, there's no way. No way. It's like, yeah, everything you think is going to happen is happening. You know, you might not see the moving pieces, but it's happening. We know how this is going to end. So, Core, while
Especially,
we'll be censored in a couple of within a year or two. We'll be censored.
Yeah, I mean they cut the national intelligence budget in half, right? Or $700 million from the national intelligence budget. It's crazy. Like, how do you not have an intelligence agency, right? Like the FBI is cutting like agents. I don't get it. They really don't want to surveil. They don't want to know what's going on. You know, they aren't even calling out some of the atrocities that some countries are doing anymore. It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Why,
yeah, I mean,
you can't be a hypocrite.
We can't be a hypocrite.
Like,
yep.
Yeah, at that point, intelligence is as good as the source. So I don't need real data to tell you what's going on. That's exactly what's happening right now. I'm telling you what's happening, and either you can accept it or not. And that's how they operate. They make it up as they go. Why do you need the CIA? Why do you need to gather information? That's irrelevant. DC, there's a crime spree in DC that we need to fix. You guys keep derailing and not focusing on the main thing. I know you have data that says DC's crime has been improving since 2023. That's all false. I'm telling you, as a leader of the free world, that they're making up stuff, and I advise that you stop feeding people false data. That's where we're headed. You don't need real data. Look at these other countries. The news, the media, and everybody is censored. Data comes from the person who has the power.
That's all I got, man. I'm sad on this Friday afternoon.
I see. The results are in, and it's almost a unanimous decision that we should have had women on last week's episode. That was the feedback I got from some of the listeners. We said that during the show. It's just not easy. I mean, the three of us barely get together to record.
That is true.
We actually had two women lined up, and then
life be lifing.
Yeah, yeah. Just trust me. We know as men. We know no matter how much we try to see it from a woman's point of view, we're gonna have our blind spots. So
Well,
you guys, you're absolutely right. We needed women's.
so yeah, and that's no excuse. That's just our reality. Razi, is there a way to get our female listeners to? I know we have a. Do we still have the way they can reach us through audio or video where they can respond and give us some
Yeah, leave
feedback?
them voicemails,
And
yo.
we'll
Yeah,
and we'll play it. We'll listen to it. We're
yeah.
open to feedback. You know,
Without rebuttal. Like we have our show to say it. You guys leave a voicemail, and we'll just play it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna rebuttal it, but
Yeah. As I said it, I was like, damn, that sounds like a lie. Good correction.
Yeah. But I do like dialogue, and I do want one thing about the show, and it's, you can call it what you will. I think that the uninterrupted male perspective that we have, and I really try to be open minded. I think we collectively try to be open minded and voice all opinions, even the unpopular ones. And at worst case scenario, we're not saying we're right. We are saying that we are trying to be honest. And a lot of times we don't have that platform without demonizing the other sex, to be honest. And we're not trying to do that. We just want to get you our true opinion.
This doesn't contradict what we just said, but I will say there are plenty of platforms with all women. And they rarely say, yeah, we need to get some men on here. They say their opinion and keep it moving. So
Well, their
opinion at least we recognize.
Their opinion is fact at that point.
They should say it and keep it moving, baby. But what I wanted to get to, man, is one, the Dominion. I don't know how much money y'all make from your voting machines, but I'm wondering if you even need to even put them out there again. Y'all done made $854 million just from lawsuits.
Yep.
Newsmax just had to cough up another 67 mil in addition to what News Corp, aka Fox News, when they had to pay the 787 million, was it?
I think it was somewhere around there.
Yeah, so they've almost made $1 billion just calling out people for lying on them. Can you imagine if you got almost $1 billion for all the people that lie on you? Social media wouldn't exist. If you could sue people for just blatantly telling all the time, social media wouldn't exist, man. That's like 60% of it.
Well, we would have a president who would not be in office. Well, I don't know if things can stop. That dude's, he's a felon, so there's also that, so I don't think anything's going to stop him from being in office.
On some brighter news, man. So I think it was late last year, he did his Tiny Desk, and he just did his Club Shay Shay interview, I think last week. It's kind of cool to see Scarface, who I think real hip hop heads will have them. I'm not going to even say top 5 because I don't feel like arguing, but at least in your top 10 or 15. But he's still, I would say, underrated and just not that known like a Jay-Z or even a Nas. It's been cool to see him get his flowers, man. The Tiny Desk was well received. This interview, I like the different format that Shannon did, where not only did he kind of perform some of his songs, but he told you what was in his mind and what was going on in his life when he wrote certain lyrics. And he was vulnerable, he was open, maybe even a little too open sometimes.
I was on X when I wrote
that. I think he smoked crack when he was 12 or 8 or something like that.
Wow.
He said he did it when it was cool. I was like, damn,
that was cool.
Crack was cool. But
I missed that.
I'm glad to see him get his flowers, man, because he's a well-respected MC. I've seen him perform doing the Legends of the South tour. So that was really cool. And last but not least, man, we try not to name call too much on this show, but MAGA and a lot of the people on the far right, man, y'all some whiny dog.
Wow.
Like, I mean, a logo? We whining about a logo. The food ain't changed, the recipe the same. That little front entrance store that whispers nigger when you walk in. That's all the same. But y'all mad because they changed the logo, dog. See, this is the difference right here. Okay, we have to protest and scream about racism and cops killing black people and black women always feeling unprotected. Y'all get to argue about a logo.
Y'all and
Like,
Byron. Don't forget Byron.
he did too?
Yeah. Byron Scott was like, "This is wrong. I got saved in a Cracker Barrel like
Lord have
parking lot or
mercy.
some shit like that."
It's so ridiculous. Just think about the struggles in your life when you have the energy and the time to put into that, man. So I will say we did not disappoint Black people on the post. I love some of the comments because we was okay with we weren't complaining about it. Like, we didn't tore down statues, we didn't kneel during the pledge and the national anthem. But that Cracker Barrel logo, we all admitted it had some racism in it, but what them pancakes and ham?
It made you feel like you was doing something wrong. It was like I know I ain't supposed to be here, massa, but it's okay.
Somebody said I like having my pancakes with a side of "get on and get, boy."
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
It makes
me
think, right? It's a white, how do I turn these pancakes?
Nigga pancakes, yeah. These whites only pancakes. That's the thing, yeah. That's what it felt like, though. It felt like we was eating whites only food. Like we were in the whites only spot, and we were able to go in.
They even would have the rocking chair on the front. Like that's what the missus. That's what the missus sat and sipped lemonade while the slaves got
mint and julep. Well, Cracker Barrel might be making a comeback, though. It might really be on a rise.
It just amazes me at what upsets. They tell us we're whining too much over real issues, and then they cry about logos.
Get over it. That's all you got, Buff?
That's it, man. That's all.
Okay, so just a couple of things. We talked about Hexit in the memo for the National Guard. That's really scary to me. I think I think we said this before, this is the beginning of the end, but I think this is the tipping point. I think something's going to pop off, unfortunately, and it's going to start there's going to be very bad. The backlash from this is going to be bad.
It's I think even I was reading the Army Times, and a soldier, they said it on anonymity so that they wouldn't get in trouble, but they were like, it's like they're inviting the bad thing. Like it's almost like they're taunting so that it can happen. And they were like, this isn't good. So even the soldiers know that it doesn't make sense and that they shouldn't be getting armed. And so that's what I'm really, really scared about, is somebody throws a rock, right? Or does something, and one of the little trigger happy, I ain't gonna say who they would probably be, but one of the soldiers is gonna be like, oh, they threw a rock at me, and they're gonna end up shooting somebody, and then it's gonna get even worse, and it's gonna escalate, and so then it's gonna be this like kind of like riots happening because of it, and that gives Trump even more authority, because at that point he can bring in the active duty and everything else, and I feel like that's
it's not gonna be isolated. It's not gonna be isolated.
Try to escalate.
And it definitely won't be isolated, because it's going to spread like wildfire across the nation, and it's going to just
there'll be protests, and then they're going to crack down on the protests, and so then it's going to that's exactly what's going to happen.
As a veteran, former weekend warrior, I think sometimes we forget that the National Guard is made of a reserve army. That these are people who are doing things every day. You have 18 guys. How old were we when we joined the reserves?
I was 17.
We were both
on my
17th
birthday. Yeah,
we were both 17.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we both did split up. Yeah, that's right.
So 17, 18 by the time we finished AIT, where I think we could officially be deployed. So you have 18-year-old, 19-year-olds who are playing freaking PS5 right now, who are in the National Guard, that can be called up and have just finished playing 20 hours of Call of Duty or whatever.
Yep.
And we're putting the protection of our nation's capital in their hand. We're letting them de-escalate situations that we're already having a problem where our trained full-time law enforcement people are struggling with that. That's scary. And Razi, I think you asked one of the questions, or maybe it was Fred, is who do we, if something happens or when something happens, who do we hold responsible? And I think that's going to be the problem, because I don't even think we care about who's responsible at that part, right? Do you hold the generals? Do you hold the secretary of the army? Who's responsible? It doesn't matter. Hicks, it doesn't matter. This should have never happened. So there's that. And Buff, when you're talking about things that don't matter, now Trump's asking for what, $2 billion from, was it Congress to approve the beautification of DC? Mm-hmm. It's just that the economy is going to hell in a handbasket. We have tariffs are about to take a toll on the country. We're hearing it and seeing it already, and you're asking for $2 billion, and you're paying the National Guard. That's money that's going into it. I don't even know what the budget is for those 2,000 people weekly, food and all that stuff. It's crazy. So I don't know. And my last thing is the DOJ just sent the House committee the first batch of Epstein files that didn't exist, right? Are these the same files that didn't exist? I'm confused. I really haven't looked too much into it because I didn't know if it was fake news or not. But how the files that didn't exist now existing and being sent if they didn't exist because they didn't exist?
Well, Ferg, your attorney general said the list didn't exist.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That's what didn't exist.
Okay, so that was a clarity that we were looking for. And apparently, what was I going to say? Maxwell basically said, I never said Trump do anything bad.
Giselle Maxwell, that's what the DOJ is saying, is that in her interview she said, I never saw Trump or Clinton. They threw that in there for a little bit of credentials and everything. So they said I never saw Clinton or any of the high ranking people that hung around Epstein do anything wrong. That's what they're saying, but they specifically made sure to throw Trump in there too when she said that. But her not seeing them is one thing, them not doing it is another. I mean, she can't say they never did anything. She wasn't there the whole time. She was out, recruiting. So, that's like a scout saying, I never saw what the front office was doing. He was on the road scouting. You weren't in the front office the whole time. So yeah, I don't get.
One more thing. Cardi B, Imaginary Players.
It actually goes.
I haven't listened to it yet. It's good.
She going pretty hard, man. I was kind of in it. The nostalgia always you give me a great track that that sense of nostalgia comes back. You're halfway there, and she kind of. I want to see if this does this have the possibility of being a great battle.
We'll see. I think so. I mean, Cardi has.
She going at somebody?
Nicki.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is she? Oh.
Mm-hmm. That, from my understanding, that's what I don't follow the beat. That's what I was telling you. Like, you heard that song, the Cardi. Listen to it, be like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but Cardi has really good writers around her. That's the biggest difference.
The shade.
No, I mean,
somebody's team Nicki.
No.
What do they call Rise's little monster?
He slid that in real smooth.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like,
coming from the dome.
Like Cardi writes. She writes her stuff, but she has a.
It's cool, right?
She has a group around her. Nicki is a better writer. We just got to be, call it what it is. But either way, it's going to be good. I really don't care, right? Whether she wrote the entire verse herself or she had help, she still had to deliver it. I mean, Eazy-E never wrote anything in his life, but I still like Eazy-E. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I do think it's going to be a really good battle there. I don't know how long it's going to last because she's pregnant with her fourth child. So, there's also that.
All right, let's jump into it, fellas. Oh, and shout out to Jay-Z. And In My Lifetime, Volume 1, I want to say it was like 97, 98, 97.
By the way, the timing of that is perfect because she's been going on a rant against him. And obviously, he had to clear that track for a
That's what makes
that boy
it
always
beautiful.
a step ahead. Boy.
Release the hounds. Yeah, that dude. He's a mad genius. He's a evil scientist. So let's go ahead and jump into it, fellas.
He is the new age Michael Jackson. You remember when Eminem went after Michael Jackson, and then Michael Jackson just said, "You know what? I'll just buy your masters."
Yeah,
like
I got you. So, and I don't think Eminem said anything about Michael Jackson since. And so, who wants to jump?
I went first last week.
Risey, did you get a question last week? I think me and Buff's question.
I don't think so. And I'll kind of continue. Buff, you were talking about Cracker Barrel and rebranding and everything. And so I just wanted to have a question around that. Essentially, a lot of these, Pearl Milling Company, right, from Aunt Jemima and all of those, like, should these companies be rebranding from kind of these, I guess, racist tropes, or should they just kind of hold on to what they got and just say, hey, it's what we are and everything? So ultimately, should Cracker Barrel have rebranded, or should it have stayed the same? I know we make jokes about it and everything like that, but ultimately, should they be trying to kind of get over these past racist things and go ahead and rebrand?
Why not? I mean, companies rebrand all the time. You look at a 1980s Dorito bag and you look at a Dorito bag today, it's different. Same thing with a can of Pepsi. Logos and branding change. The Toyota logo has changed over the years. What I like especially about Cracker Barrel is they did it without any of the complaining. Nobody, as far as I know, was even complaining about the logo. And like I said earlier in the show, black people were making jokes about it and stuff. So for them on their own to say, hey, we don't want this to represent us, we want to change it to this, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like, companies change logos and rebrand all the time. And if this particular, and I haven't even heard anything from Cracker Barrel, I'm assuming that they wanted to modernize it and make it less, I guess, racial or whatever. I haven't even heard their reasoning behind it. But yeah, if that was the reason, or any other reasoning for that matter, that's what companies do all the time. It's no different.
Yeah, but yeah, the new logo sucks. By the way, it's so boring.
It could have been more creative. It's along the lines of the Redskins going to the Commanders.
Yeah, it's
pretty.
Hey man, did they pay somebody to do this? It's so basic. I don't know if it's strange timing. Right? I've never known them, and I don't know enough about Cracker Barrel. Do they have liberal stakeholders?
Right, yeah. I don't know.
Like, if any time you want to stand 10 toes down, now is the time, right? Like, no, Trump probably would have a freaking banquet at Cracker Barrel for keeping their old name to bring it back. Like, I don't see the pushback to. I would have made them initiate it outside that maybe they're just trying to modernize. Maybe we're giving too much credit where they're looking at it was racist, because that old logo, they got an old white dude leaning against a bear. It looks like I don't want to go in there. Right? Take the racism out. It just looks like, I don't know, old country store. Nothing about that logo says that once the current Cracker Barrels die, like, I don't know how do they get new blood? Like, is there a discount you get? Like, nothing, man. I'm not like, man, I can't wait till I get old and go to Cracker Barrel. There's no appeal to our generation. Now, I know old people, breakfast places, Denny's and IHOP and all that stuff. I don't know if it was we're about to back the black. We're about to, I don't know. Because nothing about the logo makes sense.
I was just gonna say, I agree. I think it's a lot of exactly that. I think they looked at their demographic and who was coming in, and I don't think they were getting any new blood. And so, if, like you say, none of us are like, I'm going to Cracker Barrel every weekend. It's not like a restaurant we go to often for the most part. And so I agree. I think it's come down to they chose now to do it while they probably are going to get backlash from the right for doing it, but it made sense. And you got to think a rebrand takes a long time. So it's not like Trump came into office and so they're like, oh, let's rebrand right now. They've probably been working on this rebrand for a year and a half, 2 years, maybe even 3 years before they actually roll it out. And so it may have been a little bit of bad timing where they were doing it when kind of Black Lives Matter and they're like, okay, we want to rebrand from there. And then they're like, okay, now I want to go ahead and do it. And they rolled it out because of the timing of it all. And it's probably a bad time where they could have kept that racist stuff and they would have been all right. But again, I do think it's they chose to rebrand mainly because they had to refresh it. They needed a brand refresh, not necessarily get rid of the racism. It's like I got to get some new blood in here and I want to do that.
Now, why do you say they needed it? Because I feel like their whole thing was old time, like to where they wouldn't need to rebrand. Like the store, when you go in there, it looks back in the day-ish.
Yeah, but I think our kids aren't looking for that far back in the day. Like, do we want when we were kids or when we were in our 20s, did we want stuff that looked like it was in its 50s? Like Johnny Rockets and stuff. Like you weren't like, oh, let's go to Johnny Rockets because it looks cool, right?
I'm not sure kids care. I don't know. Think about Dukes of Hazzard. Dukes of Hazzard had a lot of young black fans. It had a Confederate flag on the car. Like we didn't know better or we didn't care. So I don't know.
When I say kids, I'm not necessarily talking about like kids, but I'm like
Yeah,
the younger
young
generation, right? That have money that might be going to a restaurant. Like it wasn't like when we like that's why I say like 20s, right? Mid 20s. You weren't like I'm going to Johnny Rockets because it looks cool, right? Like you just didn't care. And I think that's what's happening with them is like nobody in their 20s, nobody in their 30s are like, let's go to there. They're gonna go to I don't know Red Lobster or something, but whatever it is, they're gonna go a different place. They're not saying let's go to Cracker Barrel if there's choices.
I feel like Cracker Barrel has the monopoly on sit down interstate breakfast spots. They're always right off an exit of an interstate. Almost every Cracker Barrel I can think of is near an interstate. And when you're on a road trip, which is what older people do versus people in their 20s, you know, if you're tired of like stopping for McDonald's or something, you want like a sit down restaurant to stretch your legs, I feel like Cracker Barrel got that on lock. They got all the corners.
Yeah. they got the best corners.
I'm doing a wire rewatch.
So, but in general, like even we talked about Pearl Milling Company, anything like that. So, is that something that y'all kind of agree with that these companies should be probably doing these refreshes? Or was Pearl Milling Company different from Ancient Mama was different than this?
Well,
we can't hear you.
Good.
Oh, go ahead, Ferg.
As much as comfortable as seeing that bottle makes me feel as far as nostalgia, I have to realize that it's me, not them. They're doing the right thing. And I don't take it personal. I can't just, it's always been that way. The not wanting to change because of my personal feelings is not always the right way. We have to recognize it's no different from these bases that were named after Confederate generals that people are fighting tooth and nail. Like I went to basic training here. I went to but they lost the war. This is a sign of, that these people literally went against the America that you're fighting so hard for, that you quote unquote love. We have to accept it.
It's like a post I made on my personal page. We put a lot of stock in our feel good. And so like there's been like this recycled debate over Chris Brown, I guess because he's doing his tour again. But, Chris Brown is entertaining to a lot of people. So, it doesn't matter what he may or may not have done against Rihanna, or to a lot of people, he entertains them and they don't want him silent. Same thing with R. Kelly. Same thing with a lot of these controversial entertainers. When it comes to something controversial, we will a lot of times put our nostalgia or our feel good over the right thing to do. And so I think it's cool when companies do, resist. Well, not resist, but they know they're going to piss some people off. No matter like even when Aunt Your Mama changed, it was a lot of black people that didn't like that. They was like you, Fur. They was like, man, like it ain't gonna taste the same like that. You
I
know what I
like
mean?
my syrup
So,
sweet and racist.
so
Racism
and,
just
but that's
tastes so good.
and you know I made fun of MAGA early, but a lot of what they're expressing is what a lot of people do feel. They just don't go as far as some of them do. But a lot of people like their nostalgia and their feel good, man, whether it's right or wrong historically.
That's generally the argument
Appreciate
for
it.
change, against change.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You know,
It was always this way.
yeah.
It's always been this way.
I mean, we're too PC. We're too like it's when change happens. There's always going to be a push against it, and you know, I think we're at the age where we realize, and it's generational, right? Every generation, there's some kind of drastic change, and ours is a lot about PC and things of that nature. And so we have to realize that a lot of the things that we held on to from the boomers and I guess even Gen X, you know, depends on which one you call yourself, Gen X, millennials, zennials, whatever. Those things are changing. So, and normally things like this are changed for the better, but we're at a point where things are changing and people are trying to backtrack 100.
Conservatism, right?
You
That's why we say, or I
I
say,
don't, I don't even know what's, I don't even know what's conservative. I
conservatism.
mean, I think we're going by, it's post conservatism, like is a pre, I don't know, like we're going past, like let's not keep the way it is. Let's go back to the way it was, or back to the way it should have been, right? It's
Right.
this the military
Yeah.
patrolling our streets. What is conservative about that?
Like I said,
going against own U.S.
he's
soldiers,
going against
U.S.
conservative.
citizen.
Yeah.
That is, we're living in, you know, it is what it is. So I want to go next. I have a light-hearted question. I saw a post today or the other day, and it was talking about just TV shows and great character, like the great main character, but like the great side characters. And it poses question: what are the top TV show or movie characters that you just had an affinity for that should have had their own spinoff, or you wanted to see them have their own spinoff?
Oh, man, that's one of the questions you should have like gave us ahead of time.
Yeah, I started typing my answer while I was on freeze, so I'll give you some. I only have two so far. First would be, you know, I'm a fan of the show, not Buzz' favorite characters, but I would love to have seen a spinoff of Randall and Beth and see where they go and do they get black friends and focus more on that just as a black family to see, you know, Beth got all these black friends, Randall keep messing with white people. I don't know what the show would have been. And of course, you'll see some of the same main characters coming in as a, you know, I would love to see Deja and Tess and the girls grow up and come into their own because they had a lot of stuff going on. You know, Deja going off to college earlier, Tess identifying with her sexuality, and I can't remember the baby girl's name. But her dealing with her stuff, like what is she gonna deal? She's a baby. Like, are they gonna be overly protective for her?
Yeah.
You know, what
she's
challenges
growing up with her dad as a president, right?
Yeah,
like
you know,
that's what you got to think. She would have still been in the house when Randall became president.
Yeah, so there's so much I would have seen. I wanted to see.
Spoiler alert for anybody who hadn't watched it.
Yeah,
that doesn't know he becomes the president.
No, that was that show came out in the 90s. I don't know. It's been a long time. Isaac, you're probably gonna appreciate this. One of my favorite side characters from anime is Kakashi
Hatake, yeah.
Kakashi Sensei.
Hatake.
Kakashi Sensei. So he's Buff. I don't know how much you got into Naruto, Shippuden, or any of those. He's Naruto's original teacher. Original teacher, right?
No, he was his team lead because So
the team lead, for Team 7,
whatever was that?
Yeah, Team 7. But he's like the super strong ninja that he has a crazy backstory. He has this I want to call, is it ninjutsu or is it jitsu, where it's
the Sharingan.
Yeah, where he's kind of like it's like he's stolen powers like from or people's but he has to defeat them to do it. So like he has all these jitsus. Like he's one of the most dangerous ninjas out there. And I would love to see how many people like those battles and how he got there, his story, how did he get the shatter gun and all that stuff. So that's for my little that's me nerding out a little bit. I don't know who my third would be right now. Hopefully I gave you guys a little time to think. Movies or TV. So it could be sometime. I think villains have the best stories.
Yeah. I don't know if remember we talked about this, Buff. I want to see Thanos's origin story as a spinoff. So I don't know.
That's my answer. Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah.
I read the book
comic
on him.
Yeah.
So I didn't read the so I read the MCU version of his character in a book, and it started from his childhood all the way up till he gets the very first Infinity Stone. And I always felt like it deserved at least a Marvel series or a movie, because you put so much into that character, and yet it had to come to a conclusion. But you invested essentially, I would say, 10 years almost to this character. And I just thought it would have been cool to like
have an origin.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead, Horizon.
I think Marvel that might be where they might need to get away from the heroes. Their next thing might need to be, let's get the villain. I mean, we've seen Venom, right? Like, but
I remember when Joker came out, and I literally said that for DC. Like, DC should focus on, instead of making Batman movies, they should make movies about Batman villains and have Batman as the side character. So you watch the movie from that villain's perspective. How they become the villain, how they fight Batman, how they decide that, I'm going to do this random thing that, and create and hatch this plan to take over the city or whatever, and being able to see that from their perspective.
That would be
and
dope.
Then seeing Batman kind of coming in, messing it up here and there, and them trying to adjust and everything like that. I really think that would be a dope way to tell the Batman story. And like the way they did Joker coming up, and I hated part two, Folia Do. It was horrible. But the first Joker, I was like, we should do a follow up and call it Penguin, which they do. They did the series, which is kind of cool. But they should have done that exact same thing with some of the other ones. It could have been Riddler, right, as the next one. And so Joker is still there in the background, but now Riddler sees that and he's starting to kind of do his thing. And they could have done a movie around that and built all of those characters in Gotham.
You know what's better than the Justice League? Legion of Doom. Building up the Legion of Doom.
Oh yeah, just making the Legion of Doom. That would be like super dope.
And to the point where they're doing these origin stories, kind of like you said, at introducing their nemesis. But like, do they get away? Like, imagine a Joker movie where you're so invested. Does Joker get away? Like, does he get away? And even at the, I could even see a post credit where Joker got away, and all of a sudden the lights go out, and you see the bat goggles or something like that. You see, and it's like, oh shit, they got him. Like, it's next movie, he's in Arkham and he's about to escape. You introduce Harley Quinn in, right, and now she's breaking him out. Like, it's
like that would just be super dope if they just did that, and I could see 5-10 years of just that, right, instead of focusing on the heroes, focus on the villains. But I mean, I'm fine with them losing in the end or getting caught in the end, but I want to see the movie from their perspective versus the hero's perspective and trying to fight them and find them there. So I'd probably do that. I trying to see, I really enjoyed Martin, but I wanted to see what was going on with Tommy. Like, so I feel like Tommy would have been a cool spin-off character there, and like seeing where his not job is and what he does and how he does that. I think you could have got at least 2 seasons out of that, and him interacting with Martin. It's almost like having the villain, right, and just playing the spin-off of that there. So that's the one that I probably would like to see more than anything else.
Yeah, I saw somebody said Pam, but I think I don't know if Tom.
She could be in the Tommy series.
She could be. Yeah.
I think what's scary about Tommy is, how long can you let that joke of him like not having a job, You know.
Well, I mean, I would think instead of it, I would almost put it as he didn't have a
He
job.
has a job that he's embarrassed of, and that's
Right.
why
He
no one
didn't
knows
show
where
it,
he's.
or
Yeah.
you show him like jumping from job to job and not being able to keep a job, and explaining why he can't keep a job. Right, it's something going on with him. Maybe he's hiding a drug addiction or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he becomes homeless and has to like, and he's hiding that from Martin and them and all of that. Like there could be so much that could go on with Tommy,
Or
with him just not having a job.
or you just have it like he has a job. He has the same job. You see him going in the building. Like it's just he's going in a big office building. And you think that's his job, but he's picking up a package to take back to work. Like you're always thinking you're seeing his job. Or you see him, hey, heading out like I'm going to lunch, or hold my calls. I'm working from home today. Like whatever it is, it's like you just never like, no, that's
what does he actually do?
Yeah, what does he actually do?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I'm meeting some clients
That's
today.
really cool.
I'm meeting some potential clients today. I got stood up. I think
Right.
right.
And he's selling it, but you can't pinpoint exactly what he's selling. Like, he always has like code names for it. Like while they're golfing, he'd be like, yeah, so, we can do 300 units. And he says it like that, but you don't know like what unit it is and what he's actually selling and all that. Yeah.
So, yeah, he's coming back. He can go to a freaking
or
national meeting.
He's like a gun runner or like a drug dealer or whatever. Again, there's so much you could do.
Yeah, I just
want him to have a wholesome job.
Not
even somebody to be wholesome.
Not even a wholesome job. I wanted to be so boring that at the end of the day, if there's a way to even make you think that he's possibly a gun runner, right? But it's end up being something. He's picking up a package and all this stuff, and he's being very mysterious and all this stuff, and it's the secret formula or whatever. It is what it is. But I wanted at the end of the day, he's like, he works at Kinko's. Like, I wanted to be so boring that you're like, nigga, Kinko's? Yeah, but I'm an associate assistant manager. Right? Like, it's something like, he works at Enterprise.
Man. I don't know. He had some money.
Did he?
So I had to think because all of my shows that I enjoyed, they either because like even when you were talking about This Is Us, Ferg, I mean you made a point with the kids, like maybe they could go that direction. But I was like, when you first brought up This Is Us, I'm like, they kind of did a spinoff within the show because of all the time jumps and stuff. Like you pretty much know what happens with each character, but to follow the kids would be good. But other shows like The Wire or like Game of Thrones has a spinoff. The Wire, it completed the story. So I thought of these three, man, while we were talking, and because I'm pro realism, anti romantic ending, and just a pretty perfect ending. So the movie American History X. Remember the little white brother? He got killed, right? Mm-hmm. He got killed, I think. Never mind. Okay, let's say he survives that. Let's say he survives that. He survives it. Okay. I want to see if he still has this epiphany. I want to see him stick with, what, I was wrong. Racism is bad. But then he gets to be old enough and he sees the controversial Black Lives Matter and the Trumpism and things like that. And he slowly falls back into it. I want to see how his character really deals with complex issues that for some people make it seem to be easily racist towards one group of people because of how the media may point them or how we're portrayed in certain things. And he could be like, I tried that, and they're just not like that. They're just not like us. They're violent. I would like to see him deal with that. Pretty Woman. Okay. Pretty Woman. He pretty much boos her up at the end. I like to see them get married and then he regret
it. You want to see a sequel?
Yeah.
It ain't a spinoff. You want to see a sequel?
Yeah.
Like he can't go anywhere without running into one of her Johns and shit. Just hearing all the nasty shit she used to do because Pretty Woman was too tame. Like they didn't. She was the most conservative hook I ever seen portrayed in a movie, and I just want him to have to. If you're gonna boo her up, cool, but I want to see you deal with her past and have to check your male ego and put your love over that and stuff like that. I want to see him deal with that. And last but not least, Boomerang. I like to see Marcus and Halle Berry's character have a son who Marcus may consider a simp. And some of his toxic ways in trying to correct his son's behavior come out. And Holly is against it, like, what are you doing? You know, but he's like, nah, look, he keeps getting used by these girls and all that stuff. And I would like to see the whole toxic thing come out and
this
how they deal with that.
Might be controversial. He got Angela and what's her face pregnant. They're both pregnant. Jacqueline. Jacqueline has a girl who is her mother's daughter. And so she's teaching her all, like, he's just seeing her become this manipulative, and it's killing him, and he's seeing his son be a simp. That would that would be pretty.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to it's
it's hard. It's hard. And now I see what executives, like, how hard it is for executives to say, okay, and pick, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like the Cleveland show, right? Off of American Dad. Like, that was hilarious, and it was a good spinoff. And then it didn't work, and he had to come back. And so him coming back was hilarious.
I was going to ask, what is the most successful spinoff? Is it A Different World?
I think A Different World. I mean, even Young Sheldon did pretty good from Big Bang. My last would be, I want to see the making of Killmonger. Like, I want to see his origin story. Like, I just like, because he had to do a lot.
Yeah,
he had to do a lot.
He was
you know, he
grew up to get all those badges or all those cuts. Like, every last one of them. So all those kills, that's a lot of kills. I mean, when you think about confirmed kills, that's not often that people like get that many kills in there.
Even before that, like, you know, when he's still a child and his father is killed, I would like to see him deal with that anger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it almost sounds like Creed. But as I think about that, I think about some of these shows where I think comic books are really good, but they already have storylines. So
and a lot of them have spinoffs. I mean, a lot of them are different characters. I mean, if we want to get really recent, I definitely want to see a spinoff of from Sinners. So I want to see Stat,
which is possible.
Yeah, I really want to see that happen. There, I mean, there's so many spinoffs that can happen from that. People talk about the Indians and the Native Americans. They talk about the actual vampire and how he came about. Like, there's so much they can do with that unit. They can create a universe from that. So talking about spinoffs from that definitely could work there. But it's difficult, man. I wouldn't want to be a movie executive. Trying to figure out what's the next thing.
People, let us hear your thoughts. What character in TV or cinema would you like to, side character that you like, man, this person wasn't the main character, but something I would want to see, either a spinoff, I want to see their origins, something needs to happen with them. I need more. Let us know.
Time for more, Russ?
Let's do it. Yeah.
So, man, I just simply want to ask you guys, is it over for Drake? And I ask this because when he lost his battle to Pusha T, he not long after came out with Scorpion, and he was back. He had the Kiki, Are You With Me? All that went viral, and he had some pretty good songs on there, at least I thought. And his career picked back up where it left off. He lost the battle, move on. With this one against Kendrick, for the uninitiated, he's lost, and he's tried to come back, I think, at least twice now. He dropped What Did I Miss? Mm-hmm. That's gone. It's not even on Billboard anymore. Mm-hmm. And he's working on this album. So I guess, now that I think about it, it's kind of like wait and see. I guess wait and see what this album does. But how great can we expect it to be when he's beefing with his label that's in charge of promoting said album? And just like, is he going to come, like, to his fans, of course, they love him no matter what. But I think Drake appealed to a lot of people that sided with Kendrick in this battle in the past. They rock with Drake. But now, because of what he's doing with this lawsuit and because of how he lost, I'm just wondering, man, the superstar that he is, or at least was, is it possible that it could be over for him?
I think
to
he's
where
on the
he's no longer the
downswing.
top dog.
I think he's on the downswing. I don't think he's getting back to where he was.
Yeah.
I think
Do
he's
y'all
over
know
the
how
hill
incredible
at this
that
point.
is?
Yeah, I think
like
yeah.
And Rossi, I'm not going to even let him use age as his excuse.
Age is a thing though.
Because him and Kendrick about the same age, aren't they?
A little bit, yeah.
I don't-
They're close.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kendrick's pretty young too.
Well, I think for him, you mentioned a couple of factors. I mean, he's 0-2 for one, right? And he had this arrogance about him. He doesn't have that swag like he did.
Well, he got one against me, so he won it too.
He is 1-2. You're right. His label doesn't support him, and I think there are people who are scared to attach themselves to him. So his features are not like it's he. I will say this.
That may be what hurt him the most, right?
Nobody wants to attach himself to him. Like, I'd rather put out a bad song on my own than put a bad song to be attached to Drake. Unless he is a young and hot up and coming artist who doesn't give a shit. Now, I will say this. A banger is a banger. It's hard to deny a banger. Like, I'm not a Cardi B fan, and I'm not nothing against her, but Imaginary Players was kind of, maybe because I'm familiar with the beat, right? So the nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna have to put something like Kiki. Like, what's the name of that song? I'm not gonna keep calling him Kiki. Are you with me?
What is the name of this song?
I can't.
It had nothing to do with Kiki. I forgot the name. It had nothing to do with Kiki. That just was part of it.
Now we sounding old. What's that song you young people play? But he's gonna have to come with that. Something that you can't deny will bring him back. So he's going to have to lay all his cards on the table. He's going to have to get the best of the best, and he's going to have to come with a couple of just. You got it for us?
Yeah, in my feelings.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Where he wore the full Rattlers jersey in that video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
not sure we want to be associated with that.
For the time, hey, you know what?
At the time.
It's still Drake. I mean, that's the thing. He's still Drake, and he'll find somebody that wants to do features. But it's like you said, there's nobody that already has the motion that's gonna be like, yeah, let me bring Drake with me, right? He's gonna have to have somebody that they're like you said, new upcoming that needs Drake's motion, which he's lost a lot of it. But they are really, really good, and that's gonna be hard to find.
That'll be different for him too, because he usually gets with people that are already hot, or like where Sexy Red was. You know, you could see she was rising for however long she was rising, and then he hopped on the song with her. That's what he's known for.
He's gonna have to put his best album out, because one to catch 22. Let's say he puts out a banger. You don't follow that up with a banger. Like, he almost has to rebuild that following. Like, you know what? Kendrick had it for a while, but Drake is Draking. Like, you need to be able to go in a club, and every time you turn around, because he hasn't done anything wrong. It's not like we canceled him like R. Kelly or anything like that. So he can still get radio play and all that stuff. It's just the fact that he puts out a banger, you put more attention on him, and then the next song is a thud or it's just decent. You know, he has to come out with a...
Unfortunately, he's in new artist territory. He is, if he wants to get back on top, he has to climb back on top. He's not there where he can drop a banger and wait 6 months, a year, and drop another banger. He, like you said, he has to drop one, drop another one, drop a third one, and then at that point, okay, now Drake's hot. Now people are going to start gravitating towards him. That's the only way he's going to come back.
And his career is being bangers and trying to be young, and that swag, whatever you want to call it, that he has.
But I think he's aging out. You have your Tyler the Creators, like Sophie is loving Tyler the Creator, like his new song, and so like Ring Ring or whatever it is, like that's where she's at, and that's where the kids are right now. She's not really checking for Drake. Like,
Drake's for the old folks. So my thing is, we've picked our team. A banger's a banger, right? Mm-hmm. And so he can have something that the kids are gonna listen to. It's just his style is, he can't just have something decent. Like, Jay can put out an album that you can just vibe to. You don't want to vibe to Drake. Drake got to be a banger.
Well, that's the thing. Like, originally, that's what Drake was. Drake was that vibing music. Like, that was what you did. And so it banged because it was a vibe. So Like he might have to go back to his roots, and instead
Yeah,
of
that's a step
jump,
back. That's a
like Buff
step
said,
back.
he jumps back, he jumps on every song, and he kind of
Yeah.
morphs into whatever's hot at the time. He may have to go back to his roots and just be like, "Here's Drake, lover boy Drake,"
And you've lost.
So he's got to learn how to accept the L. I felt like that's what he did wrong in the Pusha T battle. Like he doesn't. He reminds me of the people we see on social media when they're going back and forth. Nobody can ever admit, oh, you know what, you got me. You made a good point. They're just gonna move the goalposts, change the argument, and continue to argue. They don't know how to take an L, and that's what I'm seeing with this lawsuit and all of that stuff, and that's hurting him because he actually has come out with a banger with Party Next Door. I forget the name of that song, but everybody uses it for their TikTok video and all that. It's played in the clubs, but it hasn't elevated him to where he used to be. So I'm wondering, like, I hope this album is a banger because I want to see if that brings him back or if he's done.
Who was he beefing with during like the NBA playoffs? Like he was beefing with somebody else too. Like he just needs to man up. Like I forgot who he was beefing with.
Well, he doesn't really start the beefs though. I mean,
No,
he was
no,
the
no, no,
king.
no, no.
It's king of the hill. Like that's the thing. He was at the top, and to be the king, you got to beat the king. And so people always came at him for the most part. It wasn't like Drake was out there just going after folks. Like people
No,
usually
no, no,
swung at
no.
him
He was
first.
in his feelings. How do you beef with an NBA player? Like what? I think it was like somebody was rocking with K Dot or something like that, and because they used to, you remember that the whole like
No, he was mad
I
at
think
LeBron.
he's mad at LeBron. He hasn't said it, but we assume he's mad at LeBron. And the guy that used to play for Toronto, that's from LA.
Yeah. I know you're
Damn, can't remember. Definitely getting old now.
But that's the thing. Is like, dude, just stop talking. Like it's just, just when we stop talking about you, all of a sudden you're mad at LeBron. Like, dude, you're a grown ass man. It's you.
What did I miss? What did I miss on the video? He's surrounded by all these guns, and it's like, what are you doing, bro? Like,
you were on Disney. Like,
come on,
shut
man.
up.
Yeah, come on, man. Stop. Like, just stop.
Yeah. So,
like Kendrick told him, just keep making the music that I wave my hands and dance to. That's what Kendrick said.
That's how you make it. That's who you are. You're certified lover boy, right? Like that's who you need to be. But I don't know if you looking real desperate and creepy right now. So, but let's go ahead and close it out, fellas.
Euphoria was such a dope diss track.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
In your mind, that should have been the end, right?
Oh, damn. Go ahead, Ross.
All I got, man, is I'm not above correcting myself. You guys know that, and so I wanted to make sure that I put everything out there with Fawn Weaver and Uncle Nearest. So last episode we talked about how she had lost control. She has come out and finally responded to what has happened, and so I want to report on that side of it too, and just make sure that everybody knows that what she is saying is that she has not lost control. She still runs day to day and everything like that. She has admitted that they owe that money, but they told the bank what was going on. The bank had actually approved the payment plan and everything, but then they went ahead and started saying that something's there's an issue with it, and so want to make sure that you guys know that is her side of the story. The judge has put them in receivership. So just want to explain what receivership is. It's basically that the courts have to clear what she's doing on a day-to-day basis. So she hasn't completely lost control. She's still running the company, but the courts have to clear what she's doing to make sure that she's making a valid effort to actually pay it back. So just want to put that out there, man, before and give the whole story and give her side of it as well. So I didn't want to just put it out there and just leave it with the half information. So that's all I got.
I'm glad you corrected that, and I'm hoping it all works out for her and her team, and because I always want to support Black-owned businesses, and what they have is something special.
Yeah, but like Buff said, if they lose control, I probably won't be drinking any more Uncle Nearest because that is harsh. It is pretty harsh. So
Yeah, it is. I can't lie, it is. But I got a bottle in my room right now because black owned.
Yeah, yeah.
So I saw a report that said for the first time in decades, I believe, the birth rate is down. And before I could truly ponder why that was, I saw another report that said the consumption of alcohol in this country is down. Y'all ain't drinking no more. So y'all ain't drinking, and y'all
So
just
you didn't put the two together, right?
yeah. I mean, the lights come on at the club. You ain't inebriated no more, so you see what you're really looking at, and you're like, nah, I think I'm gonna just go to the crib. But yeah, man, I thought that's first off, that's good, especially because during the COVID years, I think alcohol consumption skyrocketed.
Yeah, it did.
So to yeah, to see us come down because we drink too much in this country. Everything involves alcohol now. Paint and sip, do this and sip, go
Trap
bowling. You can
karaoke,
still
like
buy alcohol.
everything.
Yeah, yeah. They add alcohol to everything
Buff,
now.
I'm gonna add a little. I'm gonna add a little. And I think THC consumption is up in the country as well. And we all know that marijuana,
Try to relax.
marijuana affects fertility and sterility. So there's some studies
Okay,
that show
good
that.
point.
So
Good point. Good point.
we drink less and smoke more, and or take more THC, and so
Beginning of the show, I mentioned how a certain group of people like to whine about certain things. There's a certain athlete that many of those same people whined about, especially her rookie year and most of this year, with Caitlin Clark. And I'm here to tell y'all, from what I've seen, Caitlin Clark is good, but Paige Buckers is who y'all thought Caitlin Clark
Paige.
was.
Ooh, boy, Paige, man.
Paige is balling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's who y'all need to be riding for right there. Because she's playing in the same league. She's getting bumped around, pushed around, or whatever you want to say about these mean black women. But she's still putting up 44.
Mm-hmm.
Putting up 44 on them. You know what I mean? So shout out to her, man. Her rookie season, she's doing her thing. And that's cool. That's the more athletes like Paige and Caitlin and Angel Reese, got to give her props. She's gotten, I think, better. Her and Camilla had a double in last night's win, which was cool. Continues to elevate the sport, man, and that's kind of cool to see. And last but not least, man, we see that the White House ordered NASA to get rid of the satellites that track climate change. It's just one of those things where a certain segment of our politicians feel like, I guess, ignoring the truth makes it go away. Like I used to do when my mama tell me to clean my room, push a lot of my junk under the bed and say, hey, look, it's clean. Like that's what a certain segment of this country is doing, man. They whether just look the other way, pretend it doesn't exist, or tell you that you're wrong and that see it snowed. It snowed last January, Ferg, so there is
no
no
global
climate
warming.
change.
It's
So
colder now than it's ever been.
yeah, that's right. I just went outside yesterday and had to go grab a bigger jacket, so it just remember these decisions, man, 20 and 30 years from now, if we even have to wait that long. And just remember these type of decisions, man. They are truly, truly harmful.
What's scary about where we're at now is I think politics for the longest was it was safe to agree. We can agree to disagree, right? Like conservatives have not supported global warming or any of that climate change for years. This is not the first president who didn't really focus on climate change. This dude is, if I don't believe it, if I think this, I'm going to make it happen. You have to believe I'm going to make it a fact for you. There's, and that's what's scary. So what I wanted to talk about really was it is August 22nd. By the time this show drops, we will be in the same week 20 years ago where our people in New Orleans and across the Gulf Coast were about to be affected by one of the most devastating hurricanes to ever hit our country, Hurricane Katrina, August 29th. And we all know and remember that. So the city of New Orleans, the people of New Orleans are still recovering. It has and will have an everlasting impact on them, on the country. Hell has helped shaped Houston over the last 20 years. Houston is, and I hope I don't sound, it's New Orleans West, right? There's such a large population of people from New Orleans, the storm, as they say here, that it's definitely shaped the landscape, the culture of Houston. So for those people, take the time, decompress, relax, reminisce, do whatever you need to do, get therapy, whatever you need to do to get past it. If it's triggering, if there's any PTSD from it, do what you need to do. Letting you know I haven't forgot, we haven't forgot, and we're still here with you guys.
One other thing I want to put out there, it's always cool when you put plans in motion, especially when you've been planning for months. And, my wife's birthday, she's celebrating it this weekend, and the plans I put together for her are just going so great, so smooth. She's enjoying herself. So that really makes me happy, man. I'm glad she's enjoying it. I put a lot of thought into it. It's just cool to see you enjoy your weekend, babe. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the original woman stealer, King Hooley of Truth Be Told Sports.
Yep.
You guys are twins on this day, but happy birthday to you too, man. And I guess to anyone else who's celebrating a birthday.
And
just
Leah as well.
Check those two out.
Throw that out there as well. Leah's birthday on the 26th.
This week, or is she on the 20? Oh,
26th. So yeah, coming up. Yeah, right after.
Yeah, they're together.
Yeah. Yep.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, everybody. And with that being said, Three Brothers No Sense wants to thank everybody for listening and putting up with us for the last. We are coming up really close on our 6-year anniversary. I want to say it was around this time of year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Rise, I know you probably have the dates. I don't know how many episodes in we are at this point. Too many to count. It's been a pleasure and an honor working with you, brothers. It's been a honor for people just to let us in their homes and take whatever we say, let it play over their airwaves and give us their time of day. So thank you guys to all our listeners, and thank you for inspiring you and the whole community for giving us another platform. So we've grown so much. With that being said, Three Brothers No Sense, 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.